Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Oilersnation After Dark. My name is Connor Halley. Thank you guys for jumping in tonight. The Edmonton Oilers' big win over the Detroit Red Wings, 5-2 out in Motown, kicking off their road trip. Absolutely fantastic start for this team. A highly entertaining game in this one as well. We're going to get to that later on in the show. Of course, we'll be joined by Jay of Oilers Nation, Aaron Bordato as well, my producer alongside with us. To everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, we see you. Keep those comments coming. And if you are on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. We're trying to get to 37 likes for Warren Foegele for the game that he had. And an awesome game for the Oilers now in their last 9, 8-0-1. Jack Campbell playing some of his best hockey of the season. Obviously, now he's 7-0-1, I believe, in his last 8 starts. The guy, all he's doing is making big plays and big saves for this Oilers at opportunistic times. We'll break it down with Jay and Aaron as the show goes on. Before we get to the good, the bad, the oily, I'll give you a quick little rundown in case you missed anything. And for the Oilers, the first period, kind of what you might expect from a team coming back off the All-Star break combined with their bye week. A little sluggish, started off maybe the first 5 minutes pretty good, and then the ice tilted. The Red Wings took over, hit a couple posts. Eventually, Tyler Bertuzzi would get his second goal of the season. Made it 1-0 for the Red Wings after 20 minutes. The second period, though, for 19 minutes, maybe 45 seconds, it was pretty much all you could ask for from the Oilers. Great performance from the depth players. Ryan McLeod, his 9th goal of the season. Looking at that goal, from Philip Broberg, fantastic play. Evander Kane drives the net, and Ryan McLeod with a great finish. That made it 1-1. The Oilers would take the lead. Warren Foegele with his 6th of the season. A fantastic finish on a 2-on-1 pass from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Warren Foegele would make it a 3-1 game with his 7th goal of the season. Desharnais, the shot from the point. We talked about his ability to try to get pucks on net and through. Warren Foegele going to the right areas. He's rewarded. The Oilers took a 3-1 lead in that second period, and it looked like it was going pretty well, but they would unravel a little bit towards the end. After they have a power play that does not convert, the Red Wings would score, and as that period wrapped up, Evander Kane took a penalty, threw a punch, and the Oilers start the third period shorthanded. They kill it off, and from there, they found a way to get the job done. The power play ices it. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 23rd goal of the season. Tyson Barrie with a helper there. McDavid picks up his 52nd assist of the season to keep his point streak going, and then Evander Kane would get a shorty at the end of the game. Evander Kane deserved that one. He was in the Red Wings grill all night long, and the Edmonton Oilers pick up the win. Now they turn their attention to the Philadelphia Flyers, another team that's struggling this season. That'll be on Thursday, a nice early start, but let's keep talking about tonight's game. Right now, we'll get to the good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance. Cornerstone Insurance Brokers, Edmonton's premier boutique insurance brokerage with over 90 years of success and still growing. Visit cornerstoneins.ca/nation to get an online tenant or condo insurance quote in just a few minutes and use discount code NATION for an exclusive rate. Find out why Cornerstone Insurance Brokerage is ranked amongst the best in Alberta. And for the good, the bad, the oily, we bring in Jay. Jay, good evening. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm so pumped to finally join this. It's been going on for over a month. And also pumped to join after a win.
Yeah. It's a better mood after a win. And, the good, the bad, the oily, we had a lot to choose from tonight. Lots of directions we could have gone. For the good, it's one that I feel like I bring up to Aaron pretty much every game as of late. Secondary scoring. It's been so nice to see Ryan McLeod, Foegele getting these goals. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has been doing it all year, and Evander Kane obviously not going to be a secondary scoring guy. But when you look at this team and Foegele, McLeod, Derek Ryan as of late chipping in, what a welcome sight.
Yeah, it was just a different game. 5-on-5 scoring. Our power play wasn't that great. McDavid not getting a point until late way into the game. It was just kind of backwards world, but this was a game we needed to win, and we just kind of figured it out and got it done. And it was also a little spicy, and that was, I'm a dinosaur, so that's the type of hockey I like to watch. So that was fun.
Yeah, a nice little throwback game. We're going to get to that shortly because we got some great stuff. Aaron is cooking things up behind the scenes. The bad tonight, and we'll go with D-zone coverage for this one. I think the first goal more than the second one. Anytime it's a 2-on-0, within 10 feet of your own net, something went wrong. Maybe it was the forwards getting a little, eager jumping out of the play. But the bad in a night when you win 5-2, we're going to go with D-zone coverage. What did you think of the plays that led to goals?
Yeah, we gave up some grade A chances, especially in that first period. We came out kind of hot in the first few minutes and controlled the game. And after that, we were just making mistakes in our own zone and just letting these either giving up pucks in very dangerous areas or allowing guys to squeak through to set up a guy that should have been taken and wasn't. So blowing coverage and making mistakes under pressure. And we did a lot on the first, and it kind of slowed down, but it didn't stop. So, I'm sure I don't want to get ahead of myself. I love to do that. Tyler Yuremchuk will tell you that. So also a tip of the cap to Jack Campbell for fixing those mistakes.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Jack Campbell tonight, 30 saves, 32 shots. Great performance by Campbell. The things that he's done to turn around his game, absolutely awesome. And we're going to get to, the D-zone coverage. We got the highlights. We'll get to those in a second here. But we got to get to the oily and the physicality. I think I had here 30 penalty minutes. There was 36 hits going back and forth there. And, Evander Kane, Darnell Nurse, Vinny Desharnais. The Oilers have that muscle. They can do those things. Clean Costin as well, a guy who's not afraid to get into the action there. You say you're a dinosaur, but hey, we're just hockey fans. You give us that sort of stuff, I love it.
Man, Desharnais kind of had that Dustin Byfuglien moment, not to the same degree, but just two guys, one in each hand, and just kind of manhandling and using his 6'7" crazy strength. So that was cool to see. I kind of want to get to the bottom of what did Evander Kane do? He was under all their skin. They just it was a line brawl against him there, and I love to see it because that's a guy who can take it and supporting it. And then big props in that play for Tyson Barrie just blindly jumping in and taking a guy out to help Evander there, even though that guy doesn't need much help. But when there's three guys, maybe taking one off his plate might help. So very spicy affair. Loved how it ended. I wish kind of Kulak got a little bit more, aggravated there in that fight because he had Fabry in an interesting and precarious position there. But love to see it. That's a game where they were kind of being physical with us, and we just stood up against it and fired back, and also kind of controlled the we'll say the tenacity or the truculence of that game. We kind of dictated and went blow for blow, or sometimes went got a shot ahead of those guys. So good to see. This is an identity. The team's finding its identity. Going to those games, playing those games. I bet you they're buzzing in that dressing room right now, going and getting that win after a physical game like that. It really brings the team together. So very important things to see as we get into the second half of the season.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And that's the signs of a team that's close-knit, right, and playing well. It was a great tweet by you to point it out there that Tyson Barrie just flies in there. Evander Kane can probably hold his own.
Didn't even care what the price was. He was going in and he was paying it.
And you don't even have to fight. You can just jump in there, grab a guy, but get in there, show that you give a damn. That was awesome to see. We talked about Vinny Desharnais, and I think Aaron's going to bring up the video of him just kind of manhandling Rasmussen there. He's obviously a giant, and you see him in front of the net. I was kind of just trying to isolate him when I was watching, and you see the chippiness. He's giving those shots, and I see the players look back at him like, who's doing this? Oh, it's that 6'8" giant there. I'm not going to do anything when it comes to him. The video's here below. We can see it. It's a welcome sight. Just, nope, you're coming with me. Taking two of you on.
Yeah, and good observation. He's always doing that extra little bit just to piss off the other team because he can. So it's great to see, and it's something that we're missing. He's a pest, and he can also cash checks that he writes. So I love to see it, and he's been such a wonderful addition. And also, about Vinny Desharnais, that guy gets pucks through to the net. That's his superpower. He may never score an NHL goal, but he's going to get a bunch of random assists.
Yeah, and that's so nice to see. Kind of just patient on the blue line, finds the way to get it through the opposite Sekera, I believe, as Gregor liked to call him, the shin pad assassin, just finds ways to get through. It's awesome to see. Just going to give a quick shout out to the people watching on YouTube here. Of course, we've got Rusty, the Reckless Optimist,
Rusty,
chiming in as per usual. If you are watching right now on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Not sure what we're at right now, but let's boost those numbers. Michael, Ryan, Gonzo, some stranger. We got a lot of people chiming in. Lots of fun stuff to talk about here. The Guitar Maniacs, and then on Facebook as well. Before we just get too positive, We've got Kevin on Facebook saying, unbelievable how bad Draisaitl looked tonight. He was a -2. I know plus minus is kind of a stat not everybody loves, but what did you make of Leon Draisaitl tonight? Pointless, kind of surprising.
Yeah, like, he was there going through the motions. Like, Leon has those games from time to time, and maybe I thought maybe the intensity of that game might get him going, especially when didn't Mo take a run at him or tripped him? He did. Mo did something to him, his fellow countryman. I thought that was going to get him irate and get him in the game. I'm like, finally they poked the bear and Draisaitl was going to show up, but it happens a handful of times, and he just didn't have his legs. It's fine.
And yeah, it seems like whenever that happens, there's the people that complain about, oh, he's not moving his legs, he's got the body language. I think we're going to see a big game against the Flyers. He'll bounce back strong.
For sure. And well, in the first half of the season, in a game he's not going, we're losing.
Yeah.
So it's nice in a game that he's not going, we win. Like we need to be able to cover his back when he's not his best, and because he can't be his best all the time. So whatever, write it off. W, go on to Philly. Leon will wake up.
Yeah, 100%. And even McDavid tonight, fatigue maybe plays a role. They're traveling quite a bit. I know McDavid still had the flashes, but he didn't get on the score sheet until he had the secondary assist there late in the game. Like I said, still the flash plays. But yeah, I expect those guys to bounce back. Aaron tells us we've got the footage for the first goal against the goal that Bertuzzi scored. Yeah, it looks like three Oilers kind of just fly the zone there.
Yeah,
and,
what's that guy doing? No one's near him. And that's the guy who scores.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating to see that. That's like last December, early January problems that we'd see the Oilers would do, like just flying the zone, not thinking about it, leaving your goalie out to dry. Good to see they bounce back in the second period, but I think a teachable moment here for the Oilers coaching staff. You can look back on this one and say, guys, like, what are we doing?
Well, and also posts for Vezina in the first period there. And that's not Jack's fault. It was a shooting gallery. Like, we were giving up grade A chances. So he was making saves. Post was making saves. We got lucky in the first, and then we were able to kind of figure our shit out in the second half or in the second period there and start getting some goals and getting some momentum.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to have a couple goalies watching right now. That's just perfect positioning, I think. You take away everything. All you give them is the post and go from there.
That's all they had.
Yeah, it's all they had to shoot at was the net or the post there. Julia says, what a fantastic gritty win. Totally agree. Clayton says, Ayo. We've also got Bassam. Hello, Bassam. Jack is back. And then Scott on Facebook says, Campbell with a 2.2 GAA in his last 10. We love it. And neither goal was on him tonight. What did you think about the second goal for the Red Wings? I mean, they get the 5-2 win. I would like to see Campbell make that save. Not going to put it all on him, but I think that's a save he can make.
Yes, but that whole situation shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you need your goalie to kind of step in and steal a save there, but he did a bunch already. So you can't. Yeah, yes, you'd like to see him make that save, but he made so many others, so you can't. I wouldn't hang too much on it, but yeah, it's once again just those breakdowns are driving me nuts.
Yeah, you don't want to let a guy walk in through the circle untouched and take the shot. Campbell did have that big glove save, I believe, in the third period, and a quick pad save in the second. He definitely kept them in this game, especially when it was only a 1-goal game. But
he was a big reason, because if they tie it, that game can quickly go the other way, real quick.
100%, and good to see the power play actually get the game under wraps when they needed to, making it a 2-goal game. I know McLeod's only goal was a power play goal as well, but that was the 4-on-4 expiring. Aaron says, okay, well, we've been negative. Let's look at the positives. And we've got the first goal of the game for the Edmonton Oilers. It was Ryan McLeod, power play, his 9th of the season from Broberg and Kane.
But look at Broberg there. Just suck those two guys in, be patient, freeze them, and then just pass it to the guy at the blue line, to be able to see that and kind of create that time and space for McLeod to sneak in. I tweeted that out immediately. You got to give props to Broberg, who's a kid who's developing in this league right now. Props where it's due. So that was a guy that was seeing the ice really well, and great shot by McLeod. So that was a great goal.
100%. I mean, the awareness to carry it in from the red line, draw two guys, and then I feel like a lot of times you make that pass out front to Evander Kane, but he has the vision to see McLeod back there. And great finish by McLeod. Good for him. Ideally, I think he's going to get to double-digit goals on the season. Do we have the Foegele goals, Aaron? Because we can get to those next if you've got them available. I think we're going to work on that. Warren Foegele, before we get to the goals, I mean, great story for him coming back and, being a healthy scratch multiple times this year and starting to kind of find that game and, doing the things he needs to do. I don't think he needs to consistently score, but, once every 5-6 games, if he can chip in with a goal like that with that finish, man, that's going to go a long way.
Well, that's the thing that's frustrating with Foegele, because you see flashes of brilliance. Like, he's got the tools, right? So, if Fogel's a 15, 18 goal guy a season, then, then you can be happy. You just wish you could put it all together more. Like, could have had 4 goals tonight. And that's just kudos to putting himself in the right place, capitalizing where he could. That Nurse pass, like you can tell he was pissed. Like, that was – but anyway – But, it's good for him to get it going. He needs to build some confidence, because he probably isn't going anywhere. Like, Pugliarvi wasn't in the lineup tonight. And you know what? I didn't even realize it until I just kind of thought of it. So, for him to come in his place and actually be a factor, that's important. And then just for Foegele himself to get himself going as we kind of make our march towards a run towards the playoffs. So good to see. Hopefully he can build off that. Normally he's like scores in bunches and then disappears. So we'll see how this goes.
And then we got the second Foegele here. And I mean, Desharnais, we're giving the credit to him on this one, finding a way to get pucks through, double deflection. No chance here. I mean, those are the goals you need from your bottom 6, right? Like McDavid and Draisaitl, if they're going to have an off night, which, they will have throughout the season. I think McDavid has 5 games where he hasn't recorded a point. You need goals like this. Ugly ones, they all count the same. And I just absolutely love this from Desharnais. Just somehow finds a way to get it through, get it on net, a couple deflections, you take it.
It's like Brent Burns. Like, I'm not saying Vinny Desharnais is Brent Burns, but like that's one of his superpowers is he gets it through and on net. And so if you have traffic out front, stuff can happen, right? So, Vinny seems to be good at that. So if he just keeps doing that, and you got your third line, your fourth line grinders out there just making, a mess out in front of the net and causing some havoc, like these things will go in.
Danglebot on the YouTube chat says 3 players fly the zone. Nurse's contract's fault. Yeah, Dangle. We're always going to look at that contract. That's always going to be brought up.
We have to, you know what? It's done. It's signed. We have to move on.
That was my goal or my hope for the upcoming year. Like, yeah, let's just not mention 9.25. And we all know what it is. It's not going to change. We got to move on. And then we've got the Evander Kane scrum coming up next year from our extraordinary producer, Aaron. And I mean, this is just what Evander Kane, like he's in their head. It's like 5-on-1 here. And he's not backing down. And I know he's been told it's not a good idea to fight. Maybe he will drop the mitts at some point, but with that wrist injury, he's probably not going to get into it too much. But man, this guy's fearless out here, 5-on-1. And then, like you pointed out very astutely, Tyson Barrie jumps in and then other guys kind of trickle in. But this is what you love to see. And these two teams meet next Wednesday. How great is that?
Oh, I know. Evander feeds off that stuff. That stuff gets him going. So it's great to see. The one thing, I think we can all say that we're noticing, like he had said when we had him on Nation Real Life that, that he's still feeling a little numbness in his hand. And I'm wondering, like, if that has an effect with just him, well, obviously feeling the puck, but just, making plays because he's been so close so many times since he's been back and just like wasn't able to, get a proper handle on it or get enough wood on it. And I'm just wondering, like, this is still going to be an acclimation process for him to like get used to playing with how that hand feels. Because you saw even a couple of things tonight. So, that, coupled with the fighting, like, it's going to come. So when he feels good or a doctor says go for it, I bet you that first game probably going to score and Gordie Howe hat trick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's coming eventually. Genesis on YouTube says, hammer that like button, peeps. Yes, hammer that like button. We're getting closer to 100. We're right now at Sam Gagne, 89 people on the YouTube chat. So make sure you hit that like button. You know what? One thing I should say, for the people that like to throw a little bit of money down, you probably should have hammered 2 goals for Warren Foegele at Betway because, man, that would have been a nice payday. had you thought about that one, or even 1 goal, I think for Foegele would have been nice. McLeod, the Oilers have that secondary scoring, so maybe you wager a couple bucks at Betway, have some fun there, be responsible, 19 plus, and why don't we get the Nuge goal in here as well, Aaron? We got to get there. 23rd on the season, the power play. McDavid and Tyson Barrie with the assists here, and kind of the nail in the coffin, I would say.
Classic Nuge. Nail in the coffin, yes, but that's just like classic Nuge goal, like from his office, shoots it. What was that? That was low. Where'd that go? Low 5-hole, low far side.
Yeah.
Anyways, like anything below the glove and blocker is Nuge's wheelhouse. So he does it again. So very happy to see. I have a random question. Is my video working for you?
Yeah, it's coming
All
through
right,
clear
good.
here.
I'm frozen on my computer, so it's just kind of weird. I was talking to a frozen Jay there, so I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, yeah. We're still going here, and you're right. Nuge doesn't have to go bar down often, and picks his spots. He's got two guys in front. Smart puck placement, and it works for him. 23 goals on the season, and yeah, he's just been fantastic to watch this year. And that was a power play goal, but he's been doing it 5-on-5 as well. So nice to see that one for sure. What else do we get here? Jack Campbell, 8 starts, 8 wins. That's been pretty fantastic. Really good to see here. When you look at the upcoming matchup here, we're going to get into the chat in a second here. Philadelphia on the schedule. I mean, that's an winnable game for the Edmonton Oilers. I believe right now they're 7th in the Metro. Following the game against the Flyers, then it's on to Ottawa, Montreal. I mean, the schedule's been great here for the Edmonton Oilers and a bunch of winnable games. And they started to show this year that, they don't just squeak past their opponents in these games. Like they're kind of finding ways to do what they should do, what a good team does, and beat up on these teams, which is a great sight. I don't know how long it will continue for the Oilers, but yeah, Philly, Ottawa, Montreal on the schedule. Not bad.
I'm annoyed Vegas won tonight, but whatever, I'll get over it.
So Vegas did officially win. Seattle lost. So with that, Vegas leapfrogs Seattle and LA in the Pacific up to 64 points. The Oilers have 62 points. So, I mean, it's looking pretty good compared to where we were.
Donald Betway bets, 10 days, 2 weeks ago, I bet on the Oilers to win the division just because they got the momentum. It looks like, LA and Vegas are floundering, and at some point, the math is going to work against Seattle. So I feel like the seas are parting for Oilers to just run right up the middle and take over top place in the Pacific when the season ends.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty wise bet by you, Betway. And I think the goaltending's dropped off a little bit in Vegas too, so it could be a good sign. Tyson here on the YouTube chat says, get under their skin, kill a penalty, and make it a 2-goal lead again. Yeah, that was, I guess, the game plan in the third period. I've really liked how the Oilers in the last month, since they started to, pick up their game, have found ways to hold off on 1-goal games against good teams. Not really the case tonight against the Red Wings. I know they, extended the lead, but didn't have to lock it down. But it's been a nice thing to see. Dr. Gonzo, classic Nuge, Selly too, our baby boy. And Darian says, so close to number 1 in the division. What were the odds when you made that bet? Was it a pretty good payout for you?
I think I got it at plus 300. So
okay.
It was I'd like Rick, who's on Oilers Nation Radio, had said he had done it a week before, and I think he got it like 350 or 400. I'm like, ooh, that's juicy. But still, I'm like, I had to take it just because I believe and I bet with my heart to a fault. But this time, I think I'm going to be right.
We've got one here. Kyle, the Embalmer, says, Vinny is the answer. I mean, I don't know what the question is, but man, he has been really nice. And I guess a guy that we can all sort of root for, 26 years old, paid his dues, and so well-spoken in the media, talking about how, he takes the time to appreciate it all. I feel like that's just a guy, he's going to endear himself to Oilers country. Probably, for the time being, doesn't have to buy a beer if he goes out to a local establishment.
Very quickly, he's done that. Well, we have the answer belt in the office. We'll definitely, on the next award ceremony, we'll be giving it to him. Clean at it for a bit, but Vinny's looking good. So, we've been saying because we're essentially, well, we only have an overtime loss since he's been in. We're like 8-0-1. So, Vinny, we winny, man. Like let's ride.
I like it. Spectral Flop says, LOL, the Oilers remind me of the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors are pretty injured right now. I don't know. And they haven't gone on a dynasty, but I guess that's a good one. What celebrity does Betway got repping them? Elvis Stoico? I don't know. I know they sponsor some soccer teams, I think.
Oh, they got a lot of soccer players like Harry Kane and like crazy because they're UK based, but they're starting to do their deals here in Edmonton. Not Edmonton. Well, yeah, definitely in Edmonton because we deal with them. But in North America, I don't know if they have any North American spokesmen yet. So they probably do.
I
Nothing in
mean, there's
hockey. That's all I pay attention to. We're their spokesman. You're their spokesman. We're all
yeah.
their spokesman.
Betway 19 plus, do so responsibly. Got to get that in there. The Oilers are a wagon. We got to load up from the Guitar Maniac 101. Are you a Chikrin guy? Are you leaning towards that way, or do you think there's other
I
areas first?
like. I'm fine if we don't get them, but what are we doing instead? Like that's the question. So, like we Tyler and I had a healthy debate on that on Owen every day, and like I'm down for a circumstance that we bring him in, and then we think about like the other moves we need to do if we do bring him in. And then we also talk about the world if we don't bring him in, what we should focus on, what we should try and do. So the thing with Chikrin is like he's not going to win the Norris, but he's a good defenseman. He's putting up points, and it's his salary for the next 2 seasons in this like a very important 3-year window that we're in. That's actually like very important to the whole kind of Chikrin package because we have Bush and we have Barry, and I know they're both right-handed, right shot, right D, but we've got Barry under control here, for, like locked in for a few more years. Bouchard's the wild card, right? Like, what's his next contract? Probably he's going to bridge, but like, still, what does his bridge look like? And then what is that in comparison to what Chikrin's making? And who would have more impact in the next in the next 3 years, or sorry, this season plus the next two during this very important window? Who's going to have more impact to the roster? So I just kind of like dissect about if plug and play. If we take this person out and Chikrin comes in, are we better? Are we better for this important 3-year window? Because like we can't be worried about players developing in year 4 or 5. Like if we miss these next 3 years, we might have a big scary problem I don't even want to talk about on our hands. So we owe it to this roster to like the team deserves the GM to make some moves to help us go deeper in the playoffs because Colorado they've had injuries this year. They're slowly becoming the team they were last year, and they might even win the Central still, even given where they are right now. Like they're getting hot, and that's who we have to like go against. So like right now, can this Oilers beat Colorado in the Western Conference Finals? We could if we make 3 moves. We could, we'd have a better chance, and I think the team warrants it. So, am I a Chikrin guy? Yeah, but Chikrin, then what else?
Yeah. Yeah,
And if we don't, then what are we doing? But as long as we're doing something, but like don't be crazy. Like I'm not saying like just trade for the sake of trading. Like we have holes we need to address. We have to go address them, whatever way it is, Chikrin or not.
Like you said, the Avalanche 7-2-1 in their last 10, playing good hockey, getting healthier. Lost tonight in overtime to the Penguins.
Still got that point. Those buggers.
Still got the point. Yeah, exactly. 2-1 game. And then you mentioned Chikrin, that contract, $4.6 million for the next couple of years. That's a nice little deal. So it's interesting. And I mean, Gregor put out a poll today. He had would you want your GM to trade 2 firsts and a second or prospect for Jacob Chikrin? It's got like 7,600 votes. It's 49% yes, 51% no. And that could be other fan bases jumping in there trying to mess with the results. But I'll ask the people on Facebook and YouTube, what do you think? Would you give up 2 firsts and a second or prospect for Jacob Chikrin?
The acquisition price is still too high. Like we were also talking in this circumstance of what if it's just 1 first? Then like, yeah, you should do it. And then like figure out like what the bodies are associated with that deal to make it happen. But yeah, 2, like we need that second first for some other move, right? We need those. That's a very important bullet to have in the chamber. So to blow it in 1 trade, like Chikrin he's not going to totally change the team. If we bring him in, he's going to help in certain areas, but not going to totally change the team. So that's to me, you spend two first in that situation. So if somehow, because no one's paid that price yet,
Yeah.
and I know people like GMs like to wait right until the 11th hour, but no one's paid that price, and it has come down already. So maybe you can get away with one first, and some bodies. Just who are the bodies?
That's it. Well, yeah. YouTube. I mean, I can't say it's really going one way or another. Guitar Maniac, yes, yes. Tomorrow, Some Stranger, no. Dr. Gonzo, no. Arcane, 100%. We've got no, no, two first, no, yes, win now. So it's kind of it's very split here, and I'm definitely interested to see what it would be. The thought of having Chikrin on the roster is nice, but like you say, two first might be a little too much. I guess though, if just to
I'm
play
buying the
devil's
jersey
advocate.
the minute we if we trade for him. I'm buying the jersey. Like, I'm excited, but I'm
Might
realistic.
be too late picks in the first round, right? Might be 30,
But
31, could
yeah,
be
well,
pretty
you
much a
hope,
second.
you hope.
Yeah. What color would you get if you go Chikrin? What jersey?
Ooh, I'd probably go, because I have enough, and I got a Costin Royal Blue on the way from Sports Closet, so I probably would
Nice.
go white to balance out the collection.
I mean, you
And the
can't go
white is
wrong right
like, if
now.
you can keep the white clean, it is sexy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have a white Messier, like kind of same style. It's got a lot of beer stains from back in the day, but I'll throw that question out there too. If you're getting an Oilers jersey tomorrow, what color are you getting? I think I go royal blue personally, but I don't have the other ones. So royal blue for me. Yeah, lots of people coming in here saying two first and two prospects for Hagel. The Lightning did. Yeah, I mean the Lightning clearly thought they were maybe that player away from winning a Stanley Cup. I don't know. Did they make any other moves on those deadline days?
Yeah, it's for us. It's like we've got like the next 3 trade deadlines. We're going to be buyers, but if it gets you the guy, but and you can keep the guy, like that's important. Like I know we're going to be making some rental acquisitions along the way here over the next few years, but two first, still for, I don't know. You try to avoid it at all costs and keep that first for something else. You got to.
Yeah. I'm with you. If you can, 100%. Jay, are you going on the next nation vacation out to Toronto?
Oh my God, am I ever? I cannot wait. If anyone's asking about it, I think we have, it's like, I was told not to say numbers to throw people off, because if we need to get a few more spots, we can. But I think we actually have like 4 spots left. But if there's 5 of you, we can make it work. So March 10th through 11th, our friends at AMA Travel have put on well, this is an experience of a lifetime, because it is so hard to get tickets to a Leafs game. And so through our parents at Playmaker, they couldn't get us seats. Even they couldn't get seats, but they somehow were able to get us a box. So it's a bit bougie, but it's also exciting. So box to an Oilers Leafs game in Toronto, hockey night in Canada, staying at the Royal York, flying out Friday morning, coming back Sunday. And it's just going to be, a 48, 52 hour, whatever it's going to be, just intense takeover of the city as a solid group of nation citizens. So can't wait. So yes, I'm coming. So if you're
You're
interested,
going?
please hit us up. I'm going.
So today, tomorrow, and I believe Thursday, you can enter to win a trip for 2 on the Toronto Nation vacation powered by AMA Travel. You can enter at Oilers Nation's Twitter, Facebook, and or Instagram to win. Keep your eye out for the contest post and enter to win the trip of a lifetime powered by AMA Travel. I was bugging the guys like this is like you said, bougie. Vegas, I'm sure was a good time. You guys took over when they scored the first goal. I told the story. I was driving home from the other job and I thought it was in Edmonton. Edmonton fans took over T-Mobile. This one, a little classier, maybe champagne in the suite. I like your style.
I'm going to be crushing beers. I am who I am. But there might be champagne in the suite. Oh, and we get free food in the box too, which is great. And whatever, I'm going to eat, but I'm going to probably be focusing on my beers that game, because I'm probably going to be, getting into it with some Leafs fans. So I got to be ready.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you definitely got to be ready for that one. Tori on Facebook says, wish I could make it. Also, a White Costin or Yamo, Hyman. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options right now if you're looking to buy an Oilers jersey. Lots of good choices. Sports Closet, you recommend them?
Oh, 100%. They've got great selection, locally owned company, proud supporter of the nation. They sell nation gear there too. So if you're looking for a nation
Mhm.
ad, they got you covered. So yeah, no, they've got 3 locations in Edmonton. So Kingsway, Sherwood Park, and St. Albert's. So go check them out if you need a jersey. They take good care of you. And any jersey you want, they got. I got my Costin on the way. I'll get it next week. So I'm excited.
I mean, I'm
And
going to
it's
have to go
blue
check
one.
it
It's a
out.
blue Costin.
Well, Lights Out, Tyson, Some Stranger, all go in royal blue. So a popular pick. Aaron, do you want to join us in the chat here? Oh, there we go.
Hello, gentlemen.
Oh, look at
Good
that
evening there.
studio. Live from TSN.
Yeah, I'm actually already in Toronto, so let's
Oh,
go.
nice. Okay, we'll see you there in March.
Scouting out the area. Aaron, what did you think of the game tonight? The Oilers obviously not the great start. I guess it was a good start. Trailed off in the last 15 minutes or so of the first period, but great second. Your impressions of this one tonight?
Yeah, it was a little dicey there for a bit, where you kind of had the classic Edmonton. I mean, we all had the thought coming off an All-Star break, the All-Star literal hangover. Can only imagine what some of them were doing, especially in Turks and Caicos. But so you kind of question it, but it seemed like they bounced back. I know that pregame I was very interested, and I know it's because he was probably in the All-Star game, but the choice to go with Jack Campbell over Skinner, I thought really stood out. I mean, I'm sure it's because he's getting rewarded for the time off, but I thought that sends a great message to Campbell. We trust you. We're behind you. He performed great, which could only be better. Catches another dub. What did you say? That's 8 starts in a row, I think he's got. So, I mean, that's the aspect that I thought, I'm really looking forward to see what Campbell continue to do because that man is red hot. And then my second thought was, man, that was a physical night for two teams who do not play each other very often and have to see each other again next Wednesday. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to go. And I know you guys were touching on Evander Kane there. And I know we kind of heard the rumor that he couldn't or wasn't allowed to fight until after the All-Star break. Well, that guy looked like a man who was allowed to fight tonight. Said in that video there, he's trying to get to, I think it's Dylan Larkin. He gets away from the ref, and he just swings wild into the boards there. And I'm like, okay, he must be feeling better and more like himself. So I liked seeing that.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned it in our little chat before, and these two teams meet next Wednesday in Edmonton. That's going to be an absolutely awesome game. I assume it will carry over. You got Evander Kane. You've got to think so. You guys both, do we agree you go back to Skinner on Thursday against Philly?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think there's going to bounce back and forth between them this road trip, especially with this weird weekend we're getting into. If we could have afforded giving Connor and Leon the night off like we did Skinner coming back from All-Star, I bet you we would have. And then to Aaron's point, it's that vote of confidence too. So, yeah, no, they're going to bounce back and forth because we've got to get Skinner going now. This is funny, like how the narrative just keeps it changes throughout the year. Like the first half of the year, like we got to get Campbell going. You got to help him get his confidence. Like now he's buzzing. And now like Skinner hasn't played like forever and just came from playing pond hockey in Florida. Like we got to get him going now and get him feeling it at a high pace. So interesting problem to have for sure.
Yeah, I agree. What a good problem to have. I am loving trying to problem solve this. But I agree. I go with Skinner. Campbell's clearly in a groove right now. And like Jay said, you don't want to lose that groove with Stuart Skinner. He's had some time off here. He had the kid, had All-Star break. I think that now this is when you kind of 1A, 1B him back and forth, kind of get through this little stretch. And then you get down to crunch time, and we're going to have to see who is 1A, and we'll go from there. But for now, I think you ride them both. You let them both get their games, and this is perfect. I mean, it's 2 days before games. Next guy up.
Okay, now we're up to 42 likes on the YouTube channel, so that's good. But there are like 90 people in there, so if you haven't hit the like button, please do that next. This
Pump
is a
those
dumb.
numbers up.
Yeah, we got to pump those numbers up, boost the algorithm, or all that sort of thing. Hypothetical, no bearing here, but if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, do you have a way you go between the pipes?
First of all, I want to shout out our dear friend Goat, who helped make him and his bro little bro are from Utah, and they joined us in Vegas. I see Goats in the chat, so good to see you, brother. Oh man.
It's tough.
Right now you say Campbell because Skinner hasn't played. I guess let's do that hypothetical in 2 weeks and see how Skinner's playing. But yeah, right now you'd have to say Campbell just because he's getting wins and Skinner hasn't played.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a believer in the hot hand, and until he loses, I mean, you keep going back to him. If it was a must-win, do-or-die game like that, we at least now we can afford the luxury of starting them both. But yeah, if it was do or die, I'm going back to Soup all day long.
Some stranger Genesis agree with you guys. It's a dumb question because it's not, you don't have to think about that right now. You got months to figure that out. But we found out that Soup is your guy's number one goalie right now. Aaron, we touched on it a little bit there too, talking about Jacob Chychrun. If you had a trade target list, I don't even know if I'll say players, but positions. Are you looking D immediately?
I mean, like initially at the beginning of the year, yes. But lately with this great run in the 11-7, and I don't know if I'm blinded by my love for Vinny Desharnais, that could be a factor.
No.
But I don't know.
Blind.
I feel
we
like
all see it.
yeah, I have perfect vision. What am I talking about? But I don't know. I think I'm starting to lean towards the more defensive forward. I know our boy Tyler Yaremchuk loves the Jonathan Taves idea, and so do I. I don't know if it's realistic or not because of the salary implications, and you might need to get the third team involved. But I think right now, if that's me, that's what I'm going through. I did notice Tyler today on his Twitter thread was talking about after the game, I think it was after the first goal, about how everybody was kind of on Darnell. I think it was the first one, there. But how much a defensive forward there could have helped out and, been a factor of not going straight down the ice and abandoning the D zone. So there is that factor. I mean, I guess it really depends on the price for Chychrun because I'm reading like double firsts and that kind of thing. And I just think if you were going to get rid of all those picks, personally, I think you could find a bigger fish.
How are you?
I agree.
So where would you go ahead of Chychrun? Are you on the Patty Kane Jonathan Taves bandwagon?
I mean, so I'm just looking this one thing up because Tyler had an interesting hypothesis. Oh yeah, okay. So this is how you would potentially make Jonathan Taves work, and you'd actually
Tyler and his numbers
not need the third team. And we're talking about trading Foegele to Columbus for Gustav Nyquist, who is on the LTIR. If you Kucherov him, his cap hits $5.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
You trade for Taves, you get them to retain half. Then you can have Taves as your third line center. So who position wise, who are we looking for? Definitely like another real strong defensive defenseman. One that can help insulate a Broberg if needed, or insulate a Bouchard, or someone that can maybe push CC back to the second pair and play with Darnell and just have Darnell chill out. Like the issue with Darnell is he's trying to do too much because he's making so much money. So he feels like he has to do all this stuff. Like just go back to your basics and just like own your world and you'll be fine. And then maybe you put someone beside him to help with that. And then another depth forward. So you're looking for a third line center, another depth forward, and some strong defensemen of some variety to help us stop breaking down in our own zone.
That Gustav Nyquist, that's one Jason Strudwick kind of throws out there as well and says, hey, if you were to give a conditional 5th round pick and every round the Oilers play it bumps up around, I mean, could he be a nice addition? I mean, yeah, it could be. He can score a big goal here or there, maybe if he's healthy. It's an interesting one to look at.
Yeah, well, then there you go, right? So like that's one of your depth acquisitions, and then by doing that, it could unlock a John Taves trade, and then we have to figure out if we well, obviously it seems like the writing's on the wall in the Puljujärvi move, what we do with our remaining space to acquire the defenseman we need, and at that point, it could be a rental, as long as the acquisition cost isn't steep.
Okay, I got a little trivia question for you guys. Tonight, Darnell Nurse did not play 20 minutes. How many times on the season, including tonight, has he played under 20 minutes? So how many times this year has Darnell Nurse played under 20 minutes in the game? And if you want to go on YouTube, let us know. Take your guesses. I'll let you know once you guys take your shots here.
Dude, I don't know. That's a tough question.
I
don't.
feel like
I'm
it's a
not
trick,
much.
and it's one.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
it's not one, then it's two.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3.
Aaron, you would have got it. Against San Jose, he played 1959. Tonight he played 1913. And against the Coyotes in December, he played 1815. So only 3 times on the season, but once he was 1 second away.
I wonder what our record is in those games. Can you find that out?
Well, we definitely beat Arizona. And then against San Jose, so probably beat San Jose.
I would think. So
I'll see if I can find
3-0
here. Against San Jose, he didn't do a whole lot. Yeah, it's not working. It was January 13th. Yeah. I mean, we can figure it out here, but
yeah,
isn't that that was when we were in Vegas.
Yeah. So yeah, games when they're winning and it's out of hand. The Edmonton Oilers obviously give Darnell Nurse a little time off, which is good to see. I think Tyson Barrie actually led the defenseman with time on ice tonight. So
Barrie is like he's an unsung hero this year on the blue line. Like normally, I'd be critical of him, but like he's not making those gaffes as much as he used to, and he's breaking up plays, good sticks. Like it's not Norris caliber by any stretch, but it's definitely a big step forward for him defensively, and then quietly putting up points. Like Tyson Barrie is, well, I don't know, like maybe our best defenseman right now. It's weird to say. I don't know.
He's a pro's pro.
But
I say the Tyson Barrie appreciation moment right here. Like the guy has been, arguably our most consistent defenseman. As you said, he doesn't have those gaffes anymore. He was just recently on Spit and Chicklets, and I was listening, and even he elaborated on that he's like, I don't take really any more of those stupid chances I used to do back in my career. Like, I'm a pretty stable defenseman now. And I agree, man. He's putting up points very under the radar, low key. And that's kind of exactly what you want. And I don't need him to be a Norris defenseman. Like, I need him to do that. And for what he's getting paid, great deal. Great signing.
Great deal.
Happy to have him.
Great deal.
Yeah. 35 points right now, 14th in the league in terms of defensive scoring. So nice to see. And like you said, Jay, I mean, minimizing the defensive errors, right?
It's amazing the kind of changes he's implemented, and it's having an effect. And he's also like he's in the right spot in the lineup as well. So his exposure is kind of insulated as well. So like he's set up to succeed. So we know he's got that offensive upside. He does take his chances on the PP. Like he is the quarterback still. And that's where he can let kind of his offensive freak side fly. But yeah, no, like he's like when you've got a little bit of depth and you put players in the right slot, it's amazing what you get out of them and how they can perform and all that stuff. So, we still have a couple defense that might be in the wrong slot, and that need to be addressed. But this is just the function of kind of the team getting a bit deeper. So, Tyson Barrie's flourishing, and I bet you Leafs fans are like, what the hell? This is not the guy we had. Like, he's been great for us ever since he got here, whether it just be putting up crazy points and being a little bit of a defensive liability, but making up for it there. But now just kind of like being both. Like, he's not going to lead the league in defensive scoring this year, but he's going to be, in the top 15, which is amazing. And defensively, he's contributing and supporting the team there. It desperately needs it. It's And then he flew into that pile.
Yeah. What's not to love?
Like he's doing all the right things, so it's good to see him. And that, from that interview, and it seems like he's happy to be here, and he even talked about like it's the right situation for him. Like sometimes it's just about fit, right? So, maybe that's something Holland looks for, is finding it when we're doing some acquisitions here. Like, just maybe someone needs to get out of a situation and get put into the right fit, and right slot, and then you can see them flourish. So, anyways. Lots of Tyson Barrie love.
Yeah, 100%. Aaron, did you say pro's pro? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so he's a pro's pro, man. He's been doing it for a long time. He's been very consistent, I feel like, for a long time. You never hear anything really bad about him. Connor and Leon seem to like him, so he's cool with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you 100%. Like, that's it. He's doing what he has to do. As Jay mentioned, flying into the pile. Like, I love that kind of stuff. That's the littlest thing you have to do. You have to, show that you want to be there, give a damn, defend your teammates. You don't have to drop the gloves, but get into the scrum, grab someone. And I mean, like I said at the start of the show, I think that's just kind of the qualities of a good team. You're playing for each other. Doesn't matter what the score is. If there's a dust up, you get in there. You don't back down. And I mean, that's what the Oilers have been doing down the stretch here, and maybe it is the Vinny factor, you guys. It's ever since he's got here, this team's got that little swagger back.
So it's amazing, right? Like, look at Ryan Reeves did in Minnesota. Vinny's kind of having that effect. One beef I have with Warren Foegele tonight, and I don't know if you saw it, but there was a Red Wing coming behind his own net with a puck, and he had him lined up, and he went and charged at him, and then stopped, and he could have blown this guy up. And in a game that's chippy like that, like Jacob Trouba takes that hit all day. And I was like, why are you holding up on that? Like you made the move to go do it. So like, to me, it just looks like stupid. So anyways, I was disappointed.
Yeah, we're nitpicking, folks. You had a great game, but I said there was also he had like he kind of could have had the hat trick, and he had like the side of the cage wide open there. Classic Fogs did not go in.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good chuckle with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher the name here on Facebook. Colodi, who are Edmonton trading for? I mean, we've kind of hammered on that one a little bit here. The big name that gets brought up is Jacob Chychrun, also Jonathan Taves, and I love Tyler's creativity with finding ways to have other teams help you out and retain salary. Future GM right there. He's going to work his way into the management side of things. If you had the wish list, any other names you guys like to throw out there? I know there's a ton.
Let me think about Frank Saravalli's trade target list.
Actually, that
defenseman
in St. Louis,
Mikola. Oh, that one.
Yeah. Mikola or whatever. Like a steady Eddie, big, solid defenseman, also on a good contract. That is interesting to me. Ryan O'Reilly. I don't know if I'd go Ryan O'Reilly over Taves. I probably would.
I feel like it would cost more, actually. Well,
O'Reilly's 7.5 cap hit, Taves 10. So savings there.
Yeah, like you don't even have to get him to retain that much if you pull off like a Nyquist move. So like O'Reilly would be unreal. They call his nickname's Factor. Like it doesn't get much cooler than that, right?
I'm just speed rounding names here, looking at Frank's trade target list. I know Liam's always talking about Max Domi.
Yeah.
So he's there. I'm kind of indifferent on that. We were talking Matt Dumba, I think, today on the show. But as Tyler said, I don't know, he's not really the guy that everybody kind of thinks he is. Matthias Ekholm, Joel Edmondson.
Oh, I love Ekholm. I know Edmondson is a polarizing subject, but I would be interested in him. Once again, acquisition cost is important because I think they're floating around first rounder for him before, but I don't know if that's worthy of it. But once again, no one's buying. So Jake McCabe, Jake McCabe is interesting.
Yeah,
we're gonna have. You can just pick apart Chicago right now.
You really could. We're gonna have Frank on the show, I believe, on Thursday, so he can answer some of these questions. If anybody in the chat wants to throw that in, I believe it's Thursday. We have Frank. Throw them in the chat, and we'll try and get them
bring in the big guns. Let's go. I love it.
Lafferty, he fought Kulak, I believe, and we had people chime in like, hey, maybe he'd be someone. Like, that seems like anyone on the Blackhawks roster right now, people are throwing out there. I don't know if you guys have heard this one. At the day job, it seems like at least once a day someone throws out Colton Parayko from the Blues. To me, just seems like, he just signed that deal, and it's 8
probably
years.
Just because he's a local guy.
I'm like, I've met him, great guy, but clearly he's happy in St. Louis signing there as long as he did. So that's what I'd just like to end. I don't think that's going to happen.
That one would take a bunch of first-round picks.
Yeah. $6.5 million cap it till 2030. I mean, I don't know how that's going to look in 2027, 2028, but we'll see. I mean, it's going to be really interesting down here. And now I guess the positive for the Oilers, they probably still know they have to improve, but also not trading out of desperation like they were a month ago. And everyone knew they were, probably going to have to make a move. Now it's kind of like, yeah, it'd be a luxury, but playing good hockey, not in a huge rush to do so. Well, guys, I don't know. I mean, you want to keep going here? We're closing in on an hour here.
Well, full disclosure, Aaron and I are meeting at an IKEA parking lot tomorrow at 5:30. But I need to tell you, Aaron, let's call it 5:45 a.m.
Perfect.
We're going down to Calgary to get the barn burner guys get their shit together.
Yeah, we're gonna go cross enemy lines. Be behind enemy lines. Who knows?
They don't have the skill set that we do up here, and that applies to more than just the hockey team. That's right.
Ooh.
Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me to hear that. That's a 5:45. Yeah, you can try to beat the traffic down there. You guys can make good time.
He's got to be at the office there for 9, and we're gonna stop. We got a pit stop in Lacombe.
Oh man.
So we got a little morning, nice little morning. So I got to get up at 5 a.m. and beeline to IKEA.
Who's driving?
I'll be driving, I believe.
Yeah, let's rock paper scissors live right here.
All right. Well, let's go ahead, Aaron.
I was going to say, should we get our predictions in for Thursday night against Philly?
Absolutely. We got to do that. The Flyers this season, 21, 22, and 9, 7th in the Metro. Nice 5 o'clock start. So that's a good one. Oilers Nation technically will be after dark, but not too late. All right, Jay, you're our guest tonight. What's your prediction for this game? And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, let us know your predictions as well.
Yeah, I think Connor and Leon will be there. They will show up. They're so competitive. They're probably everything was stacked against them tonight, just given the fatigue of All-Star break and all the other stuff. Flying to Edmonton and having to fly over to Detroit, they're tired. So they'll be nice and awake in Philly. So I expect a big night from those two. So if you get a big night from those two, Philly don't have a chance. The Oilers are also known as the Overs. So 5-2 Oilers in Philly.
I was actually going to say 5-2 as well, but I'm not going to follow in Jay's footsteps there. So I'm going to go let's go with even better. We'll go 5-1. I don't know. The matchup. I mean, it's a game on paper. We win handedly. I'm going to be taking puck line again. I'll probably take the over. So it's Mr. Consistency lately. So here we go.
Okay. Well, I'll go extreme optimist, 5-0. Oilers get the
shutout.
big.
It's been forever.
And if you're going to go to Beltway, take the over for McDavid and Draisaitl, 2 points each. I think they're going to both respond offensively with some big points. Tori says 4-1 Oil. A confident group we have here over on the chat. Lots of 4-1 Oil, 6-2 Oil. Chris says joined late, but 7-0 Oilers. Very optimistic. Genesis is a cost and fight on Thursday. Dr. Gonzo, too old for the 8 p.m. starts. Thank God it is a 5 o'clock start. And it's going to be a fun one. I'm not too sure who's joining us, Aaron, for postgame on Thursday. We take it day by day here.
Is that Frank?
It's a revolving door. No, sorry. He's going to be on Oilers Nation every day. I need to clarify that.
I thought he was joining After Dark because they're playing Philly.
Well,
that's his
we'll shoot
hometown.
him. Yeah, we did. I think brought it up kind of before. So I don't know. We'll push it again. We'll push him again. See what we can do.
See if we can make it happen. Well, Jay, thanks a lot for doing this tonight. It was a lot of fun. Also, got to thank Cornerstone Insurance. If you visit cornerstoneins.ca/nation, you can get an online tenant or condo insurance quote in just a few minutes and use the discount code NATION for an exclusive rate. Betway, if you want to have some fun, 19 plus, and do so responsibly. Also, the AMA Nation Vacation, you can win a trip to Toronto, powered by AMA Travel. Go to the Oilers Nation Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram pages to win, and keep your eye out for the contest post and enter to win for the trip of a lifetime, powered by AMA Travel. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. If you're on that YouTube channel, hit that like button. Don't forget to download the podcast as well. Give it another listen. We will talk to you guys on Thursday after the Oilers hopefully beat the Flyers.